With decades of stories across thousands of comics, following up everything that makes every superhero special can be quite a challenge.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Yeah. Still though, what can even be more challenging than predicting who the winner would be in a matchup between these two heroes? It's challenging, yes, but you have to admit, it's also mouth-watering.
Sounds great!
So, what if there was a clash between Batman and Iron Man? I know, apocalyptic, right? These two definitely should try to get along as much as possible. Or if they really have to fight, at least nowhere close to where mortals live. Maybe we could send them off to the Sahara Desert for this clash. I mean, with all that shooting and blasting and with fatal force, imagine what the overall impact would be on human lives and property if this kind of fight took place, say, in your backyard. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to hang around on your phone trying to capture all the crazy moves, no matter how tempting it might be, right? Although, humans do have the capacity to surprise you every now and then. Some might just hang around just to get autographs. My name is Soibi. I'm a broadcaster, actor, and voiceover artist. Welcome to my channel. Here on this channel, I do some interesting showdowns, comparisons, and analysis of certain iconic action figures, superheroes, and even villains. Now, if this kind of content interests you, click on the subscribe button, like the video, comment, and share. Okay, this is obviously a battle that will never happen, sadly. But even so, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of fantasizing anyway. Can you predict who the winner would be if a clash of superheroes were to happen? Perhaps I can. Well, first of all, with such a concept, there are quite a number of factors and differences to be considered. Certainly, it would not be a one-sided combat between these two awesome billionaires, so we have to take it that fighting would be on diverse fronts, including physical strength, mental toughness or grit, weaponry, technology, IQ and tactical awareness, speed, agility, and skill. Looking at all the modifications, growth, and reboots over the years, it's very true that these two well-known characters in comics have undergone some serious transformation. Not that serious. For instance, in terms of strength, we've seen Batman overhead press weights of up to 1,000 pounds and bench press slightly more than a ton. This is way before he got exposed to Dionysium, the supernatural liquid metal that can repair dead tissues. In Batman Odyssey, we find out that the Bat Billionaire's maximum leg press is 2,500 pounds. There was this time he actually lifted Solomon Grundy with a single arm. Although in the storyline Venom, Batman couldn't lift a chunk of cement, preventing him from saving a drowning girl who eventually dies, it's still very obvious that when it comes to sheer physical strength and fitness, Batman tops the list. Iron Man isn't that built up compared to Batman, no doubt. We don't really see Tony lifting heavy weights and doing a lot of physical exercise. But that doesn't mean he's not physically strong. He's just not as strong as Batman. So when it comes to strength, Batman takes it, hands down. Now, let's take a look at grit. When we talk about grit or mental toughness, these two have a lot of character and go to great lengths to protect humanity for the sake of justice and a noble cause. Tony Stark can be described as a problem solver. This is probably his most underrated trait, but it's one of his strongest. He has displayed some strength of character or mental toughness in difficult situations. Also, Tony Stark seems to have mastered the art of logical thinking. He once escaped a terrorist camp simply, or not so simply though, by thinking logically. He also exhibited grit when fighting some really formidable opponents. But, is he grittier than Bruce Wayne? Let's see. Since losing his parents as a kid, Bruce has trained his body and mind to endure extremities and cope amazingly with stressful conditions. He is spiritual and driven by intense passions, including revenge. It is interesting to note that an American psychologist and scientist known as Angela Duckworth I was intrigued by the subject of grit, and after some extensive studying, she created a grit scale, 5 being the highest score on the scale, and it has been applied to superheroes as well. Do you want to guess what Batman scored? The maximum point of 5. That's right. Now, Bruce is a hero that doesn't get distracted by new ideas. Setbacks don't discourage him. Even when Bane broke his back, he worked incredibly hard to get his Batman mantle back from Azrael. Another strong grit trait Bruce has shown is the power to finish what he begins, despite all the obstacles he regularly encounters. So who wins on grit? The human bat. And that brings us to weapons and technology. Iron Man is one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe thanks to the weaponry he carries. Since he started his professional career as a weapons designer, it is no surprise that he can create these crazy dangerous toys. His creations help set him apart from other heroes, even those with actual superpowers. He created a nearly limitless power source and made himself a suit of armor, which is more than just a protective shell. Beneath all that flashy and expensive exterior lies the heart of a true innovator and weapons designer, and that quality has helped him survive and win in many difficult situations. Just like Batman, it'll be a huge mistake to think you know all the tricks he has up his sleeve. Now, while Batman has a moral code that keeps him from killing, he still has tons of gadgets at his disposal to help him do truly amazing stuff, including subduing his enemies. No doubt, when it comes to weaponry, it's going to be a hat pick. Like seriously, have you seen Tony's Hulkbuster suit? If Batman was to fight against Tony in this particular suit, he could get crushed in a matter of seconds, seeing that this suit was specifically designed to be able to cope with the strength of the Incredible Hulk. On the other hand, even though Iron Man has his incredible suit, Batman still has some pretty incredible gizmos that could be of great help to him in a fight with the Iron Man. His vehicles are always kitted with amazing technology and weapons. Certainly, this would serve as a very defensive and still offensive tool for Batman. Don't also forget that the Batmobile has incredible high speeds and maneuverability and definitely poses a serious threat to Iron Man, even in his Hulkbuster suit. But with that nearly limitless power source of Iron Man and his ability to keep innovating new weapons, Iron Man takes this one. But does it also apply when it comes to IQ and intellect? Batman, just like Iron Man, is incredibly smart. Batman has an IQ of 192. He's what you would call a polymath. And this is because, besides possessing a photographic memory, he has also gained mastery of many subjects, including physics, chemistry, engineering, sciences, maths, history, meta-humans, linguistics, etiquette, physiology, psychology, psychiatry, martial arts, pyrotechnics, stealth and explosives, amongst others. Pretty impressive. Similarly, we can say Anthony Stark is a guy with smarts to spare, but just how smart is he? How would he score on an IQ test? To get an idea of Stark's IQ, let's look at the records of Alpha High IQ Society. They actually keep a database of the estimated IQ scores of famous individuals and characters. According to their assessment, Tony Stark has an IQ of 270. Now that's practically off the scale. So you have to admit he's pretty smart. So in terms of IQ and smartness, Tony Stark clearly wins. Sorry, Bat lovers. If it makes you feel better though, Tony's still not as smart as Reed Richards, who has no limit to his intelligence. Now what about speed? Iron Man may be your first guess, but the super genius detective Batman can reach speeds of up to 80 to 89 kilometers per hour on foot. He's fast enough to dodge bullets and moves so fast during combats that his comrades find it very hard to see him most times. That's obviously super fast. But how fast is Tony? In the movie Avengers Infinity War, Iron Man was seen moving at a hypersonic speed of 9 times the speed of sound when he was trying to catch up with an enemy spaceship in order to rescue Doctor Strange. Now, one of the biggest advantages that Iron Man has over Batman here is the fact that he can fly. Now, while Batman is able to glide from high places, he can't actually shoot up in the air and fly around whenever he feels like it, as Iron Man can. And that's a major advantage for Stark. Even against the Batwing, Iron Man is still a lot faster. So it's very clear in the domain of speed that Iron Man is miles ahead. Finally, agility and combat skills. A Batman has mastered 127 different martial arts, and when it comes to agility, we've seen this caped hero at peak human form perform at athletic feats. There was this one time he actually caught 2 arrows shot at him at the same time by Trigger in Batman Odyssey Volume 1 Number 6, and he's been seen blocking and deflecting poisonous darts shot at him with incredible speed from Black Spider and Poison Ivy, amongst other things. Surprisingly, Tony has got some real badass fighting skills as well. In fact, during the events of Demon in a Bottle, he asked Captain America to train him in hand-to-hand combat. Iron Man tends to rely upon his weapons where possible, whereas Batman focuses on his fighting abilities, which would give him the edge in a brawl with the MCU hero. That being said, I think it's pretty obvious that Batman wins when it comes to agility and combat skills. Overall, who has a higher chance of surviving this confrontation? I think it's safe to say that Batman would, narrowly, if this fantasy of ours actually plays out. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Let me know who you think will win in a fight between Batman and Iron Man. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, click on the subscribe button, like the video, and share. I'll be uploading some crazy matchups every couple of days, and you don't want to miss it. So subscribe, hit the notification button, and you can be notified once I've uploaded. Till next time, stay winning.